Yo, Snapchats. I've been in a bit of a zombie state for the last few days, so for lack of a better idea, let's talk about the future of hackathons. So hackathons vary, but basically it's about bringing people together in a weekend to compete for prizes, to build a product, like a prototype, from start to finish. And that can be around one topic or multiple topics. So I started one with some mates back in 2012 called Hackathon, and that's now since grown into a pretty big hackathon. So like last year we had 160 competitors with about 150 grand worth of prizes across 10 competitions. We started with a mission about basically trying to merge the arts and IT cultures at the University of Wollongong, because their faculties are literally on the other side of the campus, and there's that whole like culture clash between the two groups. And on top of that, I wanted more startups to launch in the region to actually build an ecosystem, because there was literally no startup scene here back in 2012, and there still is a struggling startup scene that isn't really flourishing yet. And that's why the event is super multidisciplinary. We bring together a bunch of people from vastly different backgrounds, design, biohackers, 3D printers, VR people, but still have the overall prize and stuff. The thing is, there are tons of problems with the hackathon model, which we've learned over 5 years of doing it, but now everyone else is kind of jumping in just to get some money in innovation grants and makes a profit off it, and they're doing the same mistakes. So here's the problems. Many hackathons aren't started with any mission or purpose. Many or most are super niche. They're around one particular industry topic, which is not multidisciplinary. You don't get enough changing and mixing of different ideas and different people from different backgrounds in there. Many of the organisers are in it for either personal profit or to get a job out of it. And the vast majority of projects that get produced in the hackathon weekend or in the hackathon 2 days or whatever get abandoned immediately afterwards. There's no follow through, so there's zero impact. It's just a random event that happens. And so I see the whole space basically moving towards a commoditization of hackathons, essentially like just being rorted for event management style profit. And with innovation, the big buzzword of the moment, and potential like government grants coming down the line, everyone's positioning themselves to show that they're the best at generating innovation, and companies are trying to do the same as well. So an obvious place to profit from the whole hackathon industry is to create kind of like corporate hackathons to help people run internal hackathons at their company. But there's a massive problem there. You can't just run one or two internal hackathons at a big like bureaucratic corporation and expect massive innovation to come. That's not how it works. Innovation should be something that's like inbuilt into your business model. I mean, there's a fuck ton of charlatans out there that will sell you a 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 grand package to run an internal hackathon on a weekend, but you're missing the point. So now I've just ranted about problems for too long. So the future of hackathons is not events. It's running a hackathon, but permanently. It just operates 24/7, 365 in a space. You might have watched one of my earlier videos talking about a tech commune, which is essentially that idea. It's essentially giving people a free place to live, whereas they live inside a hackathon essentially. So companies shouldn't run a weekend hackathon or once a year or maybe once even every month. They should be running a 5-day fucking hackathon every week for the entire year. And this is essentially what Google Ventures does with their sprint model. So they go and work with different companies they invest in, and they do a 5-day sprint where they basically use the whole design thinking model to generate a prototype in 5 days. And these should be open to the public to be involved as well. But I mean, because you don't want to, you don't get innovation if you're just stuck in that silo of that one corporate culture thinking about one thing. Another idea is converting universities, the entirety of university, every single building except for like the science labs and stuff, into giant makerspaces, hackerspaces, fab labs where hackathons just occur throughout. And again, open to the public. There should be no curriculums, no degrees. Everyone from a corporation to a university to the entire city should be operating on this sprint model. Now imagine everyone's paid a basic income, and in that future world, we basically just all work in this non-stop kind of like hackathon makerspace thing and find what we want to work on and find out. Rather than universities being degree factories, they could actually be like global solution factories where people feed problems in and stakeholders come in and tell everyone their problems, and then everyone works together to solve. So I'm kind of burnt out by the whole space anyway, but it's just sad that the profiteers and the charlatans are going the very niche, like almost becoming a commodity thing for hackathons and turning them into event management companies. I want to go the hackathon model's irrelevant. It doesn't matter if it's on a week or on what structure or what topic or whatever. It's the ethos and the culture that develops, and that needs to be a city-wide thing, a university-wide thing, and a company-wide thing. Something you live in for free as much as possible, to give you the free time to think, and something that goes 24/7, just operates the entire year round, and has stakeholders like actually trying to solve problems. And then imagine if that became our world. Imagine 7 billion people every week. We start off on a Monday and we're like, okay, let's look at all the problems in the world. Okay, which ones are we going to solve now? And we'll form into teams and we'll solve those problems this week by Friday.